Are there any grave issues that would keep Team USA from winning a gold medal?
Should they be minus 430 against the field or whatever the price is right now? Maybe. But am I looking at, hey, Europe as a continent to win the Olympics at plus 500 as an interesting bet? Yeah, because one, they have 5 teams in the Olympics out of the 12.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
The Yankees are desperate. I mean, they can fire hitting coaches and everything else, but it's not working. So I don't know if Cashman really would do that. They seem to be so, tight-knit, but something's got to happen.
A big award or a big prize in the trade deadline sweepstakes would be Vladimir Guerrero Jr., right? Vladdy, put him in the middle of the lineup.
In-game live, prime time, only on SportsGrid.
The Pirates also are another team, Matt, that they're not going to sit back at the deadline, but there's only 3 spots for those 6 teams, and we didn't even do the Cubs or the Reds, and I think those teams right now kind of feel like they're hanging around too.
I think you mentioned the Padres. They're a team that I would think can get it together and do enough to get in, but I mean, yeah, there's no way of knowing those final 2 spots. It's going to just be kind of a mad rush down the stretch.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
If this wind, like we have out of the Northwest, was here all week, it would be insane watching these guys play in it. But it's going to be a southwest wind, which makes it a little easier as far as the direction of the wind. The guys will have it a little bit of a break on the back nine. But it is such a fun golf course, one that I really do think tests every single aspect of your game.
Only on SportsGrid.
All right, we're back right here. It's Game Time Decisions at the midway point of our show, almost at the midway point of France against Brazil. Victor Wembanyama, my oh my. The kid is spectacular. That's Coach James Young. I get it, JY. He's special, man. He's special. 34-32, though. Brazil's up in this game right now. Coach, tell me, did you have any action on this one coming into it? And what have you seen here from the first nearly 20 minutes of hoop?
Well, besides the fact that, a guy like Gobert getting put on a poster, Wemby's been Wemby. 10 points, 4 rebounds, I think 12 and 4. I took in because I thought they were going to win. And I know it was a lot of laying juice, but I did France and Canada just money line, parlay, that they both win. My concern with France was going to be if they were going to start out slow because of it's their first game, it's at home, nerves, and I guess I was right being down 23 to 15 after the first quarter, outscoring them 17-11. But to me, simply put, like Wembanyama is literally showing why, Kevin, let's be honest, in the first half, this guy's a top 10 guy in the league right now. And he's doing it all different sorts of ways, has a 3 already. I think his 3-point prop was over 1.5 made threes. I think it was minus 150, 170. He had to shop around a little bit. But he's showing some craftiness in the post. And what's probably happening is at times Brazil's have to go zone. I think that's a better play because it just it can help neutralize Wembanyama, particularly on the low blocks.
Yeah, look, Wemby is, of course, a special player. He's got 5 rebounds in this game as well compared to Gobert's 2, which is good for the rebound leader prop that I played for him for specifically Team France. You mentioned Canada against Greece, JY, Giannis and SGA in action. Have you locked in any juice for that game, which is at 3 p.m. Eastern?
Yeah, Kevin, I just went money line parlay. I didn't want to get into specifically teams I haven't watched a ton until I want to see them through their first game. I think it's one of those things where you got to see how these teams feel out. Listen, Canada should be, obviously the second best team in the world here. They should be playing for the gold medal against the Americans, although I still think it could be France. But the depth, and especially the guard play of a team like Canada makes you believe that they can just do. Oh my God, he do it again. What? Timeout. Why are you not doubling Wembanyama every time he gets the ball? And why is he allowed to go baseline and put people on posters? I mean, you probably just saw what I saw, but I'm sorry. I'm kind of talking to you, and the game is live, so I'm kind of doing two things at the same time.
No, listen. I mean, it's good. It's good to give people the live coverage. I will say, you can send the double all you want. He's going quickly. He's also 7'4". He's also phenomenal. There's a lot there.
But the thing I want people to realize, and just kind of talk basketball real quickly for people, if you are going to play Wembanyama one-on-one, if you can't deny that pass and steal it, you got to square up. That guy was high side. It was a very quick one-dribble baseline dunk. You're right. You beat double teams that way pretty quickly if you're able to do that.
Yeah, so, and again, he's an incredibly skilled player. I think it's, again, you can tell that he is very much the guy France is going to go to. And not that was kind of in doubt, but you never know, right? If we get close, we have to get to Evan Fournier. No. Right? They're very comfortable with who their best guys. I will say this is somebody who has a Gershon Yabusele bet early, but, France, maybe semi-panic button. Okay, he wasn't playing well. Get him out. I haven't seen Yabusele in the second quarter. I don't think he's injured, right? But I'll tell you this right now. So, again, look, man, you mentioned France being able to win gold. This team lost 4 straight games coming into this tournament. Nobody talked about it because nobody cares. That's fine. People, Gobert's on the roster. Wemby's on the roster. That's great. They did not look good, right? They lost to Canada. They lost to Germany. They lost to Australia. They lost. That's what they were doing. They were losing basketball games pretty consistently on the way in. They are going fourth quarter of a game 7 rotations right now in the first half against Brazil, JY. Evan Fournier knocks down a 3. They're up. Okay, that's fine. This isn't good. They're going to have no legs coming out of the group stages if this is what they need to do here. This isn't good. This isn't like this is the toughest game they're supposed to play, right? I mean, what are we talking about right now?
No. This is. I mean, listen. Brazil they're a very crafty team, and it wasn't a huge line. I think this is where we're getting at, especially early on. And we'll talk about this with the USA because obviously, I can't be on tomorrow. You got to look at these games live early on because there's jitters, there's figuring it out, it's rotations, it's a lot of things that you have to do. It was good for Fournier to get a 3 because they need some kind of guard play because if I'm Brazil, I'm just loading up inside. Of course, now, Gobert, Fournier tried to dribble a ball, and it looks like why he shouldn't dribble a ball because he basically just dribbled off his leg. But, France up 3 at the break. Maybe you can look at France again to win the third quarter. I think that's the way you play this early on until you get a sentiment is playing games by quarter, Kevin, or by half, especially not early in the game. Let the game kind of settle in, kind of like what I like with the USA tomorrow.
And we'll get to that USA in a moment there. I will say it's just the live number is 11.5. Now, it's minus 130, but that doesn't make any sense. They didn't cover the first half line, and now the live number is bigger than the pregame number. It should be 10.5, and maybe it is in other spots, but again, even the 10.5 would be interesting. Joe, I just want to go back to Greece, Canada. We're going to talk USA in a moment here, but how do you feel Giannis will fare? I mean, that points props all the way up to 25.5. SGA's got obviously a big time number relative to the rest of the field, and 22.5 that we're seeing here. I mean, these are 2 MVP level guys that we've got going head to head here. Do you have any looks on these guys heading into this game?
Well, I mean, to me, if there's one guy I look to do it more, it's probably going to be SGA because he's surrounded by, let's be honest, better guys around him. I think, if you're Canada, you're going to load up and really kind of play that, if you wanted to call it that, Miami Heat, like put, old school kids 1 foot in the lane and really make Giannis earn it from the perimeter. And I think that's something maybe you want to look at if you can find it, is maybe Giannis, honestly, to make a 3. Because if I'm Canada, I'm going to make him shoot it from the perimeter. I can't allow this guy to really get downhill. And for SGA, because of the fact he's surrounded by Jamal Murray, that he has RJ Barrett, that he has Dylan Brooks, he has guys around him that can kind of get him going and space the floor a little bit. So SGA would be more the guy I would look at to hit his points prop. If it's a 3-point prop, maybe Giannis to hit a 3, because I think if I'm Canada, I'm making him beat me from the perimeter, not from the inside or drives.
I can't find Giannis to make one. There is something, and I haven't, again, we have a lot going on this morning. We're going to get into the USA stuff next, but I have no idea what's going on with Jamal Murray. Canada, I think, had 3 exhibition games. He played in the first one, wasn't good. I don't even know if he played. I don't think he played in the second one, and then he played about 7 minutes in the third game, and they were like, yeah, no, there's nothing wrong. Like, he's fine. It's like, what? So you're just benching him? That's not good. Again, like, listen, I get it. I'm talking about the general public, right? Look at the Canada roster. Look at the French roster, right? Nobody watches those teams. Look at the USA roster. We watch the USA games. Panic button, panic button. They didn't lose any games, right? Meanwhile, France lost 4 in a row coming into this tournament, and Canada's what's supposed to be second best player might have been benched for Andrew Nemhard. Not great for the Denver Nuggets as a side note there. It's just, these are things to kind of keep in mind here as it pertains to the teams that are supposed to threaten the USA for gold here in this tournament. We're going to hit a break. We're going to keep Coach around and get his thoughts from Team USA Hoops tomorrow. Big game against Serbia. LeBron, Joel Embiid, Steph Curry, Durant. Is he going to be back as they go up against Nikola Jokic? We'll answer all these questions on the other side. Live with you on SportsGrid.
Are there any grave issues that would keep Team USA from winning a gold medal?
Should they be minus 430 against the field or whatever the price is right now? Maybe. But am I looking at, hey, Europe as a continent to win the Olympics at plus 500 as an interesting bet? Yeah, because one, they have 5 teams in the Olympics out of the 12.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
The Yankees are desperate. I mean, they could fire hitting coaches and everything else, but it's not working. So I don't know if Cashman really would do that. They seem to be so, tight-knit, but something's got to happen.
A big award or a big prize in the trade deadline sweepstakes would be Vladimir Guerrero Jr., right? Vladdy, put him in the middle of the lineup.
In-game live, prime time, only on SportsGrid.
The Pirates also are another team, Matt, that they're not going to sit back at the deadline. But there's only 3 spots for those 6 teams, and we didn't even do the Cubs or the Reds. And I think those teams right now kind of feel like they're hanging around too.
I think you mentioned the Padres. They're a team that I would think can get it together and do enough to get in. But, I mean, yeah, there's no way of knowing those final 2 spots. It's going to just be kind of a mad rush down the stretch.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
If this wind, like we have out of the Northwest, was here all week, it would be insane watching these guys play in it. But it's going to be a southwest wind, which makes it a little easier as far as the direction of the wind. The guys will have it a little bit of a break on the back 9. But it is such a fun golf course, one that I really do think tests every single aspect of your game.
Only on SportsGrid.
All right, we're live to right here. We're on SportsGrid. It's a Saturday morning. Major League Baseball board gets underway at 3 o'clock. Olympics right now, getting a lot of the focus for the people here. USA Hoops is tomorrow morning, which, of course, is going to be major. We'll have you covered. Coach, though, we want to get your thoughts on that game right now. And they go up against Serbia. I mean, look, let me give it to you open canvas here. Team USA against Team Serbia. What are you looking for?
I'm looking to see, number one, and I kind of talked to you about this during the break, and you mentioned it first. One, what's the status of Kevin Durant? Kevin Durant didn't play in any exhibition games We don't know his status. Now, I always thought that at the end of the day, if Durant was playing, him, LeBron, Steph, Embiid, those were going to be 4 out of the year 5 starters. So to me, that's the first thing I want to see is, does Kevin Durant play? And if he plays, Kevin, I wouldn't be quick to jump on his over for points if they're out there because, Kevin, we don't know. They may work this guy in a little bit to see, what he could have in the tank. Now, secondly, where do you play LeBron if Durant isn't in the game? I saw something that I thought was really fascinating at times is LeBron as a small ball point 4. They put him at that spot a little bit against Germany with Embiid at the center when Embiid was starting to play his best basketball. LeBron at the 4 is an absolute nightmare. Nightmare for anyone. Because with the USA, what do, Caleb? You put at least 2 other shooters on the floor and Embiid who can step out and shoot or be in the dunk spot or be at the high post. Kevin, you can't check this guy one-on-one if he gets downhill because in this game, even though it's going to be aggressive, they'll call fouls on drives. So you have to be careful of how you foul LeBron. That is why I think I love LeBron more than anyone to lead this team in scoring. I know he's not the favorite, but to me, it's simply put, Steph's going to have a game or two, Kevin, where he's not going to shoot the ball well. There's going to be a game or two, Kevin, where it's going to be tight. LeBron's going to always be in the mix with the points, and then when it gets down to the last 3-4 minutes, like it was South Sudan, that last possession, Germany, the last couple possessions, they're going to give the ball to LeBron and say, take us home. LeBron leads Team USA in scoring in the Olympics.
And he certainly moved a little bit, JY. At some books, 3-1, other books, plus 280. He's right there neck and neck, certainly with Steph Curry. I think that the selling point on LeBron for any of these markets is just the reliability, right? You mentioned the up-and-down nature potentially of a Steph Curry. We don't know if Kevin Durant's going to play. Anthony Edwards had some up-and-down nature. One guy that's a little interesting to me on some props, Coach, and again, I'll lock in all wagers and we'll be live tomorrow morning, but it's actually Joel Embiid. Only because they are very clearly dead set on him starting no matter what. Mm-hmm. And his best game was his most recent game. The game against Germany, right? Game against Germany was easily his best game. Highest scoring game, led the team in assists, led the team in rebounds. He had 15. And we know the idea around Embiid is that he would be a dominant force, X factor heading into the Olympics. Specifically on Embiid and maybe the front court, AD, Bam Adebayo, what do you expect from that group going up against Nikola Jokic tomorrow?
They're going to give him fits. They're going to give him fits because they don't have to worry about guys getting beat off the bounce as much, right? Which we saw a little bit, with other teams. I think they're going to be able to defend him better at the perimeter, and I think that's going to lock down Nikola Jokic. I think when you look at it, folks, and Kevin makes a good point. So when you start looking around, Embiid is so intriguing with his points prop at 11.5. Just had 15 the last game. You don't have the strongest defender in, obviously, Nikola Jokic. And I think anytime Embiid gets in front of the Joker, Kevin, he tried to cook that boy. He tried to cook him every single time. So I like where you're going with that points prop of 11.5. One of my best bets, and I'll be sure even though I'm not on tomorrow, that I will get my bets out early tomorrow morning on what I like. Kevin, I'm looking at, maybe people think I'm crazy, I look at teams getting into rhythm. I talked about this. Right now, second quarter spread, United States minus 3.5. Last time they played Serbia, if I'm not mistaken, they were up 1 at the end of 1. They outscored them by 14 in the second quarter. They tend to kind of turn it on quarter 2 as they start to get their rotation set. Steve Kerr plays more guys. I really like the second quarter spread of 3.5 because if it's close, they're going to want to open up the lead. If they're winning, let's say 7 or 8 after 1, they want to maybe try and bury the hammer early. USA second quarter spread on FanDuel right now, minus 3.5. I actually love it.
All right, so I'm taking a look at some live action there. I see we got D Wade on the call. Future NBC commentator in 2025, Dwayne Wade? Probably. Listen.
I mean,
Making some moves
Ke-
there.
Kevin, you know what's interesting is I said this yesterday in the post, but Charles Barkley, stop with the Turner stuff. You're gonna get like $20 million a year to go somewhere if you go with NBC or ESPN. They're gonna try and find a home for this guy. At the end of the day, it's about money. $11.1 billion. I'm gonna say this. It's very important people understand this. Yes, we're going to get more national games, right, Kevin? National games every night of the week, right? More coverage. I just pray the owners are going to make a ton of money. The players are going to make a ton of money. Do us a favor, folks. Do not turn around and make us pay for it more when we want to go to a game because they're lining up the coffers. Everybody's getting paid. Don't make us pay for it. You guys are getting the bag. Make sure we don't pay way too much as the years go on. You're getting more money. Don't make us take that brunt of it when we go through the turnstiles.
Yeah, it should go the other direction, actually, if you that would be nice. I like that. A little call to arms from Coach on the way out here. JY, appreciate it. We're going to continue to follow all the action closely. Wish you best of luck with the slate.
Thank you. And last thing, really quick. Women on Monday, they win. Big. Look at their team total over 90.5. They should kill Japan. They're going to be in a bad mood.
All right, we'll be with you back here. Talk some football next.
Are there any grave issues that would keep Team USA from winning a gold medal?
Should they be minus 430 against the field or whatever the price is right now? Maybe. But am I looking at, hey, Europe as a continent to win the Olympics at plus 500 as an interesting bet? Yeah, because one, they have 5 teams in the Olympics out of the 12.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
The Yankees are desperate. I mean, they could fire hitting coaches and everything else, but it's not working. So I don't know if Cashman really would do that. They seem to be so, tight-knit, but something's got to happen.
A big award or a big prize in the trade deadline sweepstakes would be Vladimir Guerrero Jr., right? Vladdy, put him in the middle of the lineup.
In-game live, prime time, only on SportsGrid.
The Pirates also are another team, Matt, that they're not going to sit back at the deadline. But there's only 3 spots for those 6 teams, and we didn't even do the Cubs or the Reds. And I think those teams right now kind of feel like they're hanging around too.
I think you mentioned the Padres. They're a team that I would think can get it together and do enough to get in. But, I mean, yeah, there's no way of knowing those final 2 spots. It's going to just be kind of a mad rush down the stretch.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
If this wind like we have out of the Northwest was here all week, it would be insane watching these guys play in it. But it's going to be a southwest wind, which makes it a little easier as far as the direction of the wind. And the guys will have it a little bit of a break on the back 9. But it is such a fun golf course, one that I really do think tests every single aspect of your game.
Only on SportsGrid.
All right, we're going to talk some football quickly. The 3M Open is going on. Taylor Pendrith, your leader, heading into today. I have not actually bet anything yet at the 3M Open, and the only thing I actually can say about that is thank goodness. I hope that I am not going to bring up something that others out here have lost on, but I mentioned Michael Thorne Bjornsson heading into this tournament. Just he's supposed to be kind of one of the next wave of guys. What could he do? And he was brilliant in his first round of golf. Put up a 66. He was 5 under. He was inside that top 10. And he was, again, a round pick for like a top 40. man, I missed out on, what should really be some free money here, right? Not that the guy's going to win the tournament, but this should be simple enough. He shot a 77 yesterday. Guy missed the cut. Wow, it was crazy. It's so crazy. That's my 3M Open thoughts. Michael Doran Bjornsson had a stinker. We're going to keep you updated on everything. We've got Matt Peralt stopping by, not only talk some baseball, Yankees, Red Sox, but also we've got a big-time UFC card tonight. But we did get a couple of quarterbacks paid yesterday. Look, firstly, Jordan Love. Now, this deal we knew was coming with the Green Bay Packers. And, I've talked about kind of Jordan Love already a little bit earlier on in this week. There's no doubt that they could and should and would pay this guy here, right? The only thing, just when I see Jordan Love kind of get paid, is if you're the Green Bay Packers, don't you wish you were able to get this guy going at least one season earlier? Only because you did have to give him top dollar off of a 1-year sample size. And really, not even a 1-year sample size, right? More like an 8-week sample size, kind of, if we're really being honest with ourselves about how long Jordan Love was awesome for. And he was awesome. But also, you lost basically on the entire window of, we have a rookie contract quarterback. And that then brings me to Tua Tagovailoa, who the Miami Dolphins paid to be their franchise quarterback. And what we really are seeing now is a lot of these quarterbacks are just going to get paid, right? There's a level of success that teams are hitting, and they're going to give their guys the money. And what teams don't seem to be incredibly interested in is being bold and overly trusting of the offensive mind that they have in the room. And there are certainly risks if you are the Lions and don't pay Jared Goff, Dolphins and don't pay Tua Tagovailoa, Niners and do not pay Brock Purdy. There are certainly risks if you make that decision, right? The grass is not always greener on the other side. But when you are the Miami Dolphins and you pay Tua Tagovailoa, you are now not only locked into Tua, but you do lose a level of flexibility that having a quarterback on a rookie deal can bring. When it comes to Tua, where does he rank in the landscape of quarterbacks? Comfortably outside the top 7, right? He is not what I really do not think anybody would argue Tua as a top 7 quarterback in the league, right? Is he a top 12 quarterback in the league? Not so sure. What you then kind of have is a conversation of, is Tua around league average, right? There does come a point in the tier where everybody is kind of mixed. But if you, as the Miami Dolphins, have a game changer in Tyreek Hill, another high-level wide receiver in Jalen Waddle, and a brilliant offensive mind in Mike McDaniel, is there not a desire to take a risk with a young, cheap rookie quarterback and attack it that way? And what seemingly the answer is from these teams is no. We are going to be risk averse. We are going to stick with what we know. But then, if you're the Miami Dolphins, and this coming season, you beat up on bad teams, lose to the great teams, in the most important games, you go, oh, gee, Tua, wish you had a stronger arm. That's your fault. And you get stuck when you make decisions like that. And I wonder if the Dolphins have tapped themselves with that decision. Quick break. We're live with you right here. It's Game Time Decisions.
Are there any grave issues that would keep Team USA from winning a gold medal?
Should they be minus 430 against the field or whatever the price is right now? Maybe. But am I looking at, hey, Europe as a continent to win the Olympics at plus 500 as an interesting bet? Yeah, because one, they have 5 teams in the Olympics out of the 12.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
The Yankees are desperate. I mean, they can fire hitting coaches and everything else, but it's not working. So I don't know if Cashman really would do that. They seem to be so, tight-knit, but something's got to happen.
A big award or a big prize in the trade deadline sweepstakes would be Vladimir Guerrero Jr., right? Vladdy, put him in the middle of the lineup.
In-game live, prime time, only on SportsGrid.
The Pirates also are another team, Matt, that they're not going to sit back at the deadline. But there's only 3 spots for those 6 teams, and we didn't even do the Cubs or the Reds. And I think those teams right now kind of feel like they're hanging around too.
I think you mentioned the Padres. They're a team that I would think can get it together and do enough to get in. But, I mean, yeah, there's no way of knowing those final 2 spots. It's going to just be kind of a mad rush down the stretch.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
If this wind like we have out of the Northwest was here all week, it would be insane watching these guys play in it. But it's going to be a southwest wind, which makes it a little easier as far as the direction of the wind. The guys will have it a little bit of a break on the back nine. But it is such a fun golf course, one that I really do think tests every single aspect of your game.
Only on SportsGrid.
All right, we're live on SportsGrid. It's Game Time Decisions. We got Matt Peralt stopping by. He'll be live later today. Oh, or not on in-game live, actually. But I know Matt will be keeping tabs on the late-night UFC. The last time I talked to Matt, we ended up going so far left. By the time the segment was over, people were like, dang it, I do wish I got more of the intel on what he was going to say about the fights. So I'm starting there before Yankees-Red Sox, even if I'll probably end up agreeing on anything we talk about with the Yankees-Red Sox. It is a big UFC 304, excuse me. Leon Edwards is fighting, Matt. What are you looking for tonight with the fights?
Yeah, so all 3 fights in the main card have my attention, and I think they're all going to be very unique for cool ways. Let's start with Paddy Pimblett and his fight against, he's now going by King Green, which is kind of weird, but Bobby Green. So we have obviously a huge home field advantage for Paddy Pimblett. But as Paddy the Baddie, as he goes by, as he has risen in competition, he has not finished fighters. He has gone his last 2 fights, including Tony Ferguson, his last fight, where he went to the cards. The money's coming in on the under in this fight, and I can't figure out why. 2.5 rounds. I think Paddy wins by decision. I think that's the best way to go by, or just bet the over 2.5 rounds on this. I don't think Bobby Green finishes him, but I don't think Paddy's going to finish Bobby Green either. So I think this is just going to be the way this guy's going to fight. He's not like the next Connor. He doesn't have explosive power. He can submit guys, but it's really hard to submit Bobby Green. He's not a guy he's a veteran. He's going to know what Paddy's going to try to do with him and take him down. So to me, I think the best play is over 2.5 rounds in that fight. The Tom Aspinall fight is wild to me because this guy's got such incredible knockout power. Obviously, the Blades fight the first time went horrifically for him. So now he's back trying to right that wrong. I bet that fight as not to start the second round. FanDuel's got that at minus 120, and I like that a lot because it's a fight for 5 minutes essentially. In heavyweights, I think it's a 5-minute fight. So either Aspinall gets clipped and Blades wins, or Tom knocks him out. I think the most likely path to victory is Aspinall knocks out Blades in the first round. So rather than bet over 1.5 rounds at minus 170, or go ahead and bet Aspinall, which is astronomical prices right now. Even knockout, it's minus 155 to 170, depending on what book you're looking at for Tom Aspinall. So I just think the fight not to start the second round on the no on that is only minus 120. And the main event's going to be, I don't know. I think it's Leon Edwards. I think the over is probably the best play, but it's really expensive on that one. I want Bilal Muhammad to win this fight. This guy has wanted this fight for so long. He has asked Edwards to fight him over and over again. The first time that they fought, a nasty eye poke, maybe the worst eye pokes I've ever seen in the UFC, just really bled, got deep and it bled and he couldn't see. And so this fight's been run back now. I want Muhammad to win. I don't know if he wins, so I'm not betting the main event. I may bet it later in the night, depending on how I may bet it live as it goes, but that fight to go to the cards is probably the best way to bet it as well.
So I'm curious, and this is where, I don't know if again, at home, they're waving into the UFC. Big gap for myself personally. They call me intentionally Casual Kev. I love to just run in, rip a take, don't know what I'm talking about. But when I saw Leon Bilal, again, my mind was like, what's Bilal doing here, right? That's now, and then you kind of, you tell the story of the no contest. So then there's a part of me that goes, so is Bilal just here because it was a no contest and he hasn't necessarily earned a fight of this level? I'm curious for you. I see minus 255, right? Mm-hmm. I know enough, though, certainly when it comes to MMA betting, that's Leon's a favorite, but we see minus 600s. We see this guy doesn't belong here. That price doesn't say to me that Bilal doesn't belong in the octagon with Leon in a title fight.
Damian Maia, Stephen Thompson, Vicente Luque, Sean Brady, Gilbert Burns. 5 straight fights, 5 straight wins. I mean, these are names. These are guys in the division. These are not no-name fighters. Muhammad has won and beaten the best in this division, except for the champion. So this is his time. I mean, he's been asking, he's been fighting, he's been winning. This is his time. This is not like, I know the reason why the price is where the price is because it's in Manchester, and Muhammad doesn't finish guys either. So yeah, we've seen the head kick from around the world with Leon Edwards and shocking everybody and what he did to win the belt. So yeah, he has knockout kick power, but he's not going to knock out Muhammad. That would be surprising to me if he knocks him out. It's just, if the fight goes to the cards, kind of like when Canelo fights in Vegas, you're not going to beat Canelo for his belts on the cards in Vegas. It's hard to see a pro-Manchester crowd, pro-England, environment go ahead and say, yeah, we're going to hand the belt to Bilal Muhammad. So I think that's why the price is what it is. Muhammad better get to a finish. If he finishes him, obviously he wins, and that's his path to victory. I don't think he wins on a judge's scorecard. So for me, Muhammad to the fight go the distance, yes, and then Edwards by decision, probably the best way to bet it.
Which is plus 120, which, again, when you consider he's a minus 255 favorite, just using the FanDuel numbers in front of me, right? You maybe can find better. Do you feel, because I know you do follow both, right? And again, I'm much looser, but boxing very much does seem like a sport that rigged is such a strong word, but it's garbage, right? Like a fight goes to the cards, the dumbest thing you've ever seen in the world happens, and people go, yeah, it's boxing, right? I don't feel like that's often the case with UFC. I know that there is certainly this idea that, hey, it's tough to beat a guy there. Do you think that's just judges maybe being over-influenced by a crowd, that every time Leon lands, it'll sound way different? Or is it closer to boxing where it's like, no, we're not letting Leon lose here?
I think there's always business to take into account when it comes to combat sports. And from a business standpoint, what's better for business? Do you want the reaction of the crowd if a split decision happens, or a controversial decision, or the judge's scorecard doesn't reflect what the crowd thinks that they watched? That's part of the problem, right? We all are amateur judges. I'm victim of it as much as anybody. Well, I watch the fights, I score the fights myself, and then I want to see what the cards come back with from the judges. My issue with all combat sports is I want open scoring. Like, I want to know after each round what the judges put down. And we don't get that in any combat sport in America at the moment, except for, I think, the PFL, does it. But I love the idea of knowing what the judges feel in the moment. And then if you're down 2-0, you're going to fight differently in round number 3. Sure. If it's 2-2 in a 5-round fight, you're going to the 5th and final round. You're going to fight differently, knowing that the entire fight hinges on that 5-minute spurt. So I like the idea of fighters being aware, and the crowd being aware, and the audience at home being aware, and thus us, betting us to be aware as to what the judges are going to write down if this thing goes to the cards. So to me, I am incredibly I hope that one day, I'm 47 years old. I hope that one day we see a high level major, either boxing or MMA, adopt open scoring so we don't have that question you just asked. Hey, that looked a little bit, crooked. That didn't look right. I didn't feel that was the right call. And people start to speculate in sports betting. And we know that boxing has had problems in the past with guys taking dives and whatnot. I hate that conversation, but it has to be had because I was there when Canelo fought Triple G both times and it went to the cards. I've been at fights where I've seen judges like Adelaide Bird here in Vegas have a scorecard that makes absolutely no sense to any person watching the fight. And that's why you get the questions.
Yeah, I think the other day, I don't remember the fight, but I think there was basically a decision where some guy lost and the commentators were like, I had that guy winning 11-1. What even just possibly happened? That's also what makes fight betting so unique, right? Is, you and I had a conversation back around the Conn Smythe where it's like you're betting on voting, right? Where even if I individually think Barrov, right, deserves the Conn Smythe, right? So I bet that, and then I watch it, and I still think that should win. It's out of my hands, right? When I bet on France -5, it's definitive. I can get a bad beat. It's a definitive answer. In fighting, if a guy gets knocked out, you get a definitive answer. If you go to the cards, all of a sudden it's an award. It's such a fascinating thing with the fight game. But again, it's a loaded 304 here tonight. Matt's going to stick around. It is Yankees Red Sox. And truly, going into this, if you don't know who is a fan of who, you will leave still questioning that after the conversation.
Are there any grave issues that would keep Team USA from winning a gold medal?
Should they be minus 430 against the field or whatever the price is right now? Maybe. But am I looking at, hey, Europe as a continent to win the Olympics at plus 500 as an interesting bet? Yeah, because one, they have 5 teams in the Olympics out of the 12.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
The Yankees are desperate. I mean, they could fire hitting coaches and everything else, but it's not working. So I don't know if Cashman really would do that. They seem to be so, tight-knit, but something's got to happen.
A big award or a big prize in the trade deadline sweepstakes would be Vladimir Guerrero Jr., right? Vladdy, put him in the middle of the lineup.
In-game live, prime time, only on SportsGrid.
The Pirates also are another team, Matt, that they're not going to sit back at the deadline. But there's only 3 spots for those 6 teams, and we didn't even do the Cubs or the Reds. And I think those teams right now kind of feel like they're hanging around too.
I think you mentioned the Padres. They're a team that I would think can get it together and do enough to get in. But, I mean, yeah, there's no way of knowing those final 2 spots. It's going to just be kind of a mad rush down the stretch.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
If this wind like we have out of the Northwest was here all week, it would be insane watching these guys play in it. But it's going to be a southwest wind, which makes it a little easier as far as the direction of the wind. The guys will have it a little bit of a break on the back nine. But it is such a fun golf course, one that I really do think tests every single aspect of your game.
Only on SportsGrid.
All right, we're back to right here on SportsGrid. We do have that France-Brazil game right now where France has, for the first time, been able to show cover. They are up 12 on Brazil. That total dead under. I believe, and forgive me for not remembering exactly, but I think this would put us, if this game goes under, and it's trending way under, 3-0 to the under so far at the Olympics, which does fall in line with the simple, these games matter, they go all under. It's like postseason stuff, so that's what we're seeing. We'll see what kind of adjustments there are. But I do want to talk baseball, because while the Olympics are the Olympics, betting-wise, this is an unbelievable baseball slate. And Whenever you get the Yankees and the Red Sox, it's going to command attention. Whenever you get the Yankees looking like one of the worst teams in the sport, I'm getting angry as I bring this up. It's going to command attention. I remember, it's weird how certain things can stick. You probably don't even, right? It was in passing. It was like 2 months ago when the Yankees were doing incredibly well, and you were like, yeah, that's not going to last. And I remember it. And I'm looking at it now, and it hasn't lasted. They're still 60-45, which goes to show how good it was at one point. But man, they have been bad for a legitimate stretch of time now, Matt.
35 games, 11-24. I mean, that's
bad.
That's over a month. That's a long time. Mike Francesa called them circus clowns, and I couldn't have said it better myself. I went, yep, that's what's going on right now with everything involved in the Yankees, from management, upstairs, the players. I mean, was Mike Giancarlo Stanton that big of a piece that when he goes down that this entire lineup cannot hit? And I know everyone in New York got mad at Severino for saying they're a 2-hit lineup, but it's true. It's Soto, it's Judge, and that's it. They don't have a third baseman. They haven't gotten much production out of first base. They've got a bullpen that can be leaky at times. And they've got starting pitching that on the road, look, Nestor Cortez on the road is not good. Nestor Cortez at home is good. Garrett Cole got lit up by the Mets. You need him to be a stopper, and he got lit up by the Mets. You go 0-4 against the Mets, your crosstown rival. You go to the Red Sox in a big series. Boston comes off a 1-5 road trip where they got smacked by for 20 runs against the Rockies, and they come back down 7-4, and they come back and win the game 9-7. I mean, if you're a Yankee fan, you can't believe what you're watching because you're going, how bad are these guys right now? Because the trade deadline's coming up, and does the team have the gumption to make a major trade to go and get a bat or 2 bats to help this lineup? Because you can't just sit here and wait for Stanton to come back, in my opinion, because I don't know how effective he's going to be. And a hamstring is balky. He makes one wrong turn, he makes one run down first base, and he could pull the thing again, and then what are you going to do?
So all of the Stanton stuff, incredibly true, which does... that does personally upset me because he has actually been very good for the Yankees when he's on the field. But sometimes this happens with guys. Why I have shifted, and this was prior to how, I mean, it's obviously so bad now where like the consensus is this is bad, is, Matt, if they get 2 bats, it's not problem solved. Because they, to some degree, are going to address the lineup. It's glaring they must, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of guys in the lineup that they're not overly committed to, so things can be moved around. Then the postseason starts, because I still would be surprised if they weren't in the postseason. And then the rotation goes out there, and you're like, all right, we think Garrett's going to be fine. And then what? Rodon, all confidence is lost. Even if you think he could be good, he could also be atrocious. There's no pedigree with Cortez. What are we doing here? We're begging Clark Schmidt comes back and is an ace. And that's the reason why the big picture stuff for the Yankees, for me now, looks so dim, Matt, is I think they'll address the lineup. I doubt they address the rotation. And I get why, but the rotation, I don't know how anyone has confidence in that. While the lineup's been not hitting, the rotation has fallen to crap.
Yeah, completely. And the bullpen's not much better. So you're throwing guys out there blowing leads left and right, and that's not much better for the Yankees. If you have your starter going out there going, all right, how many innings is my starter going to give me? 4, 5, maybe? Then the bullpen comes in, and the bullpen gets taxed. And then by the time you get to a big series like this, and by the way, they play the Phillies next. Like, this is not going to get easier for the Yankees. After they play the Red Sox, and they play the Phillies. Like, this is not like, oh, wait till they get to the easier part of the schedule. Like, we're running right to the trade deadline where the Yankees may be just one of those teams like going through an 11 for, 30 stretch. So today's really interesting because the Red Sox, they have gone over their team total now for 6 straight games, which is again set, at least last night, it was set at 4.5, which I can't really figure out why the books keep putting it 4.5. The Red Sox are scoring 6 or 7 runs every single game. Yeah. I know Stroman's been better on the road than he has been at home, but the Red Sox scored 6 off Stroman, I believe, in a game they won 9-3 in June. So they've seen him with the Yankees, and they've seen a ton of him in the American League East, even though a lot of these kids for the Red Sox haven't seen much of him. They hit him well. Yeah. So my best play in this game here is just Red Sox team total over and just keep on betting that till the wheels fall off.
Which, again, makes plenty of sense. Now, the reason why I said you won't, jokingly, obviously everyone knows I'm the Yankee fan and Matt's a Red Sox fan, is it's not just the Yankee stuff that's bad. Boston, to me, is very much a team that if you told me they're into the playoffs, I just find futures like that tricky. I don't really want to pay the additional, I don't know if they'll be their price. But if you told me they'll get there, there's a lot of juice. The lineup has a lot of pop, and the rotation has a high I think they're,
Well, their
Does their
bullpen
rotation
their bullpen's horrible, though. I mean, the Red Sox bullpen is just, I know Jensen in the back end has been decent, but my gosh.
Yeah.
Look at that hit. Look at the home run that Judge hit last night just landed.
Yeah, my thing is, Matt, and this is my baseball brain, and I think we'll have a little bit more time to kind of get into this, is just at the deadline, the easiest thing to attempt to clean up is a bullpen, right?
Yeah.
At the deadline, they trade 25. Everyone trades their relieving. Teams that are contending will trade a reliever if you give them a good enough prospect, right? But Boston's rotation ceiling with Pivetta and Cutter Crawford feels about as high as anyone's in the American League, no?
I mean, the other flip side of that coin is that these guys might regress back to what they have been. I mean, some of these guys, Cutter Crawford today, he's having a tremendous season. Does this continue? I don't know. This has been a tremendous new relook. I mean, they picked up James Paxton for a reason yesterday. They need help. They're not in love with their rotation. They need guys to eat up innings and maybe even long relief guys to come in. So the Red Sox are telling you, Brian Bayo has not been the quote-unquote ace. If he starts to pitch well down the stretch, I'm with you. The Red Sox could have a really special season, kind of like 2018.
Yeah, we're taking a quick break. Again, the price gap between the two wild. We'll be right back. It's Game Time Decisions.
Are there any grave issues that would keep Team USA from winning a gold medal?
Should they be minus 430 against the field or whatever the price is right now? Maybe. But am I looking at, hey, Europe as a continent to win the Olympics at plus 500 as an interesting bet? Yeah, because one, they have 5 teams in the Olympics out of the 12.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
The Yankees are desperate. I mean, they could fire hitting coaches and everything else, but it's not working. So I don't know if Cashman really would do that. They seem to be so, tight-knit, but something's got to happen.
A big award or a big prize in the trade deadline sweepstakes would be Vladimir Guerrero Jr., right? Vladdy, put him in the middle of the lineup.
In-game live, prime time, only on SportsGrid.
The Pirates also are another team, Matt, that they're not going to sit back at the deadline, but there's only 3 spots for those 6 teams, and we didn't even do the Cubs or the Reds. And I think those teams right now kind of feel like they're hanging around too.
I think you mentioned the Padres. They're a team that I would think can get it together and do enough to get in. But, there's no way of knowing those final 2 spots. It's going to just be kind of a mad rush down the stretch.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
If this wind like we have out of the Northwest was here all week, it would be insane watching these guys play in it. But it's going to be a southwest wind, which makes it a little easier as far as the direction of the wind. The guys will have it a little bit of a break on the back 9. But it is such a fun golf course, one that I really do think tests every single aspect of your game.
Only on SportsGrid.
All right, we're on Game Time Decisions, closing it out with Matt Brault here on a Saturday, talking a little baseball. And just to kind of make this closing point here, just in case there are some Yankee fans who are like, you are a trader, how can you say positive light for the Red Sox? Because it's about pricing. The Yankees are plus 280 to win an American League. The Red Sox are 21-1 to win an American League. If there's enough similarities there, well, if you tack on a 0 at the back of the number, it just it kind of makes the difference. The thing, though, is, Matt, as much as, you and I'll be honest with you guys, the Yankee stuff, it's so annoying to me. Plus, where I live in Jersey, I can't even watch it. So I won't even watch the game. I really won't. I don't know. I can't do it. It's just, it annoys me a lot. It does. Outside of Yankees Red Sox, Matt, anything else from this baseball slate really catch your attention?
Not really. Not today. I think if you're I keep on wondering, is Seattle going to go on a hot streak? Because yesterday I bet the under, and they scored 8 runs in the first inning. So is this just like a blip, or did they actually do something in that clubhouse by making a trade and getting a Rosarena to come in? Did they all go like, wait a minute, we're going to lose our job here. We better start hitting because our offense is the worst offense in the American League, and our guys can really pitch, and we can't score. So I'm really curious to see what happens with Seattle today, because if they crack the White Sox again and their offense starts to really pick up steam, there might be a chance to really buy low on an offense, and the numbers may not adjust from the book perspective for a couple of games, maybe a week or so, to see if that Mariner offense comes back. So that game has my attention, to see how many runs will Seattle score today, and then what they look like the rest of the week, now that they're going to potentially pick up not just one bat, but the rumor is they're going to get more than just a Rosarena to help that offense.
Yeah, I think for Seattle, and this is where I'm probably being harsh to them, but 8 of the runs were in the first inning. More than half of the hits were in the first inning. So then just because it's like, oh, they stunk for the most of the game, but they jumped all over Chicago. I'll end it on this just to kind of make the point. As Matt and I were talking, the Blue Jays just traded a reliever to the Cubs. Because, again, it's the deadline. Nate Pearson. Again, this is –
I thought the Cubs are going to sell, not buy. That's interesting.
They still might. I swear. Listen, I know the guys in the back hate when I do this. Baseball's so dumb that everyone can buy a reliever even if you're selling. I'm telling you, this is what it is.
You're right, but
even
maybe
if you're
the Cubs
seller,
are
you might grab a reliever.
They might grab the reliever for a bigger package to go make a trade, to give up something bigger, to go, it's a deal to make a deal type of thing. It's possible. I mean, the Cubs are supposed to be selling, not buying. So, what are we doing? We're buying arms. Why are we buying arms if the Cubs? I'm on the over for wins for the Cubs. I want them to buy. Don't sell. Don't give up.
Great move.
Buy. Go compete. Try to win 85 games. I have over 84.5 wins. Go win 85 games, Chicago.
Yeah, that would be – it's not great right now. It's not great right now, but I guess there's a lot of runway. Matt, we appreciate it here. Enjoy the baseball. Enjoy the Red Sox win later tonight, and we'll talk soon.
You'd like the Red Sox to win tonight again? I love it.
I would ideally – I haven't done it yet. I'm not going to bet it. I probably still can't pull myself to do it, but I'd rather just bet Cutter Crawford for the win, because every Cutter Crawford start is a decision. It's incredible. It's bad. He's 6-8. It's very unfair, but it doesn't work out for him. He gives up any runs. I kind of think they're going to win. You not?
I don't know. I think they score 5 runs. That's my best bet in the Red Sox. Just go Red Sox offense against Stroman in the bullpen. Score 5 runs and I'm good.
6-2 Red Sox. There you go.
Love
There's
it.
The final score. So
run line. Red Sox.
Great
Love
stuff.
It. Thanks, guys.
Great stuff. Yeah, a lot of alts as well. For Matt, look, just to kind of put this on the board one last time for the people with that Greece Canada game coming up a little bit later on. I do like that under 172 and a half. Again, this game live right now, 146 and a half is, barring a miracle, going to be another bang under here for the Olympic hoops. Is that going to be a consistent trend? Time will tell. I really do like that under 172 and a half, though. I think it would require Canada to score 100. I think that the Greek offense is going to really struggle in the basketball game. I think Giannis will do his thing, but all in all, I think there's going to be plenty of struggle points for that group there. So I'm playing under in the game, and I am playing R.J. Barrett, though, over 13 and a half points. We'll see what the Jamal Murray stuff looks like, but I do trust R.J. Barrett's volume kind of regardless to get to where, to that 14 marker here. As we close it out, it's France 69, it's Brazil 60 with 3.5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. In-game live will continue to cover all the Olympics as well as set you up for the Major League Baseball. Kevin Walsh, I'll see you tomorrow right back here on SportsGrid.